Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear fine.
That was Krama. Krama is an ex-professional PUBG player and a current competitive Apex Legends player. And last week, I had the opportunity to sit down with him for an hour for a coaching session. For reference, I am a solo queue player, somewhere between platinum and diamond skill level, and I have a goal to solo queue to masters by the end of this year. I'm going to be documenting this progress here on my YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to follow my progress and hopefully begin your own improvement journey alongside me. Now, during the session, I did have him analyze some of my recorded games, but this isn't where I found the most value. The real value of our time together was having him answer questions about what really mattered to me. How do I actively and consistently improve on my own? For that reason, the rest of this video will be split into separate and very important questions and answers to provide the most value. If any of those answers resonate with you, please let me know in the comments and make sure to like this video. Okay, yeah, so I can just run through these quickly with you. So the first thing is I just kind of want to talk about like a routine and like things that I should be consistently doing for improvement. I've been
Okay.
following Aimer7's Kovacs routine. I saw that we actually shared the one server in common, so I imagine that you
Yep.
use Kovacs too.
I use Kovac, yeah. Sometimes when before a tournament, I usually warm up on Kovac and play a bit of training firing range, and that's about it.
Okay.
Thing is, I have like thousands and thousands of hours like played on BRs like PUBG and Apex, and I've never changed my sense. Like I've changed it like 20% or 30%. Doesn't make big of difference, but thing is, Apex is mainly a tracking game. So I had to improve on my tracking. And if you come from like CS and Valorant or like other time clicking FPSs, then you're probably gonna struggle while tracking. So I mean, I can give you my routine later on. Like I can message you it. It's a waste of time basically. You can do it by yourself. But
Okay.
I'll message you it, and yeah, you pointed out how to W key and win gunfights
Yeah, basically
consistently.
what I'm saying is like I'm confident if I wanted to, I could climb the ranks by just, ratting out and trying to get high placements. But
Yeah.
um, the other week, probably just a couple of days before I booked this lesson, I actually was playing a game. This was last season, where I queued up and I got two Predator Smurfs on my team. Right?
Yeah.
They both were like, this was in platinum tier, and they both were like 15 kills or some. They just destroyed the lobby,
Yeah.
and I think that experience playing with them was pretty impactful in the sense that I basically started to recognize the huge skill gap between me and them because not only, you know, did they win every fight we went into, they'd win a
Mm-hmm.
fight and immediately go to another one. They were constantly W keying. It seemed like they were just like running into fights and winning everything. And the whole game, even outside of fights, I felt like my entire game was just chasing them around, right? Like they
Yeah.
just played with like such a high tempo,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything they
I
did
know.
was so smooth. It was just crazy because like after I was starting to feel pretty good about myself that I was climbing through platinum, and then I played with them and I realized that like there's still a huge difference between them and me. So I just want to try to figure out some ways to essentially improve on my own gameplay and try to climb up to their tier.
I mean, it all comes down to experience. Like, there's no secret. Like, if if you know the map perfectly and if you know how to position yourself, then it's gonna be way easier for you. It's like if you if you watch streams and you watch three pro playing, they know what fight to take and they know what fight to not take. And for instance, with the Revenant comp, back in Kings Canyon meta, you knew you had to like 3-0 the fight like in 30 seconds max, because if you don't, then you get third partied by Revenants, and
Yeah.
it's like almost impossible like to escape, except if you have like GB and you can 1v2 two Revenants. But yeah, um, so it all comes down to experience, in my opinion. Like you can do it, but it's gonna take a few more hours, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I recognize I'm gonna have to play a absolute like I'm still very very low on hours as far as
Yeah,
in comparison to competitive players.
yeah, you are.
But my biggest thing is as much as I recognize the need for just playing more, and I have been playing a lot recently. I want to make sure that the hours that I'm putting into the game are being used
Yeah,
well.
useful. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's like the reason why I started playing Kovacs, because I feel like I normally do about 30 to 40 minutes a day of Kovacs, and I've been doing that for a couple of weeks now. And I feel like that 30 to 40 minutes is like a lot more helpful than just doing an extra 30 or 40 minutes of Apex in the day.
And play with a quicker tempo. As I
Yeah,
said,
just
it's
like
just,
when you like pull up a stream and you see them like moving around, I just feel
yeah.
like the things that they do, like all their movements, their looting, their decisions, is just a quicker tempo and a lot smoother than what I'm doing. And I recognize that with time I will get there, um, but there's got to be some way for me to like focus on improving that in the here and now, I would think, as opposed to just grinding hours, because I don't want to put in 1,000 more hours and then find
Yeah.
myself only a little bit better. I would like to put in 1,000 hours and find myself to be really
I
good.
mean,
So I
I,
just
I, you don't need really time. You just like I did the same thing as you. Like I came late at like on this game. I came like I played in the beta, but I've quit it like for 4 or 5 seasons, and I came back and I had 800 hours in the game and I got signed. So it's not like how many hours you put in. It's like if your hours are useful, then you're gonna be all right. In what I did, it was like I think every 3 day I was trying to improve on something, and I was watching VODs as you do, and it worked out for me. It's just like you need like points, every day or every 3 day, and one day maybe you want to improve on looting faster. One day you want to improve on IGLing. By the way, if you're IGLing like in-game leading,
I
you're gonna
normally am.
improve. Okay, you're gonna improve way faster because you're doing the calls and you know what's right and what's wrong in what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you're an A, right?
Yes.
Okay, people usually use their mics.
Uh, I would say 2 out of my 3 games. Yes.
Okay, then that's okay because on EU then they don't.
Yeah, they at least a lot of times they won't have mics, but they will hear me and listen to me. So normally the reason why I try to IGL isn't because I think I'm necessarily the best IGL, but it's because the people I'm playing with, if I don't say anything, they may not say anything the entire
Yeah,
game, but if I
true.
start talking, they'll start talking. So
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Um, that's good. That's really good actually. Because usually people that are playing solo and they're asking me like what do I have to do and stuff like that. They usually like they're in the back. They don't do anything to do better. And I tell them all the time that you have to take the commands. Like you ride the ship basically.
yeah.
And having a good comp like while grinding is really good. Like it's is a must basically for me.
Following these discussions, Krama reviewed some of my recorded games with me and identified a few of my weaknesses. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to continue my Kovacs aim training and start focusing on single aspects of my gameplay one at a time. I'll use the weaknesses Krama identified in my VODs and make sure to develop good habits while removing bad ones. The idea he proposed of having focus points on a 3-day, or what I'm going to be doing as a 1-week basis, sounds like a pretty manageable way to build a routine and consistently improve. Despite all this, I will need to keep playing and get a whole lot more experience. I'll be doing this over on my Twitch channel, and I have a link in the description. I'm new to streaming, so I'm still trying to get to affiliate, so go follow if that's something you're interested in. Ultimately, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this.
I mean, you have to put the time in. There's no like escape from that. But if you do it correctly, then you might need less hours than the average.